It's a pleasure to be here today. A few of us were hanging out on the Zoom before the line opened up, and we started to go down a little bit of the rabbit hole of some favorite wrestling moments, favorite WrestleMania moments. I remember, and I am definitely aging myself, and I'm looking around. I think others may remember this too. I remember the first WrestleMania and the excitement for Hulk Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, and then you go to WrestleMania 2 and they have the three different events, and so when I was brought in to work on this acquisition, it was pretty hard not to get a bit nostalgic of just how special WWE is, how much it means to people, how much it's part of the fabric of culture, and has really stood the test of time. And so, putting aside my personal experiences and fandom for WWE over all these years, it really is a special time for our company. ESPN couldn't be more excited to warmly welcome WWE to the ESPN family. JT will get into this in a bit. There have been so many people here at our company that have played such a critical role in the launch of our direct-to-consumer service. And JT and his team were at the front of the line on so much of it. And to have this acquisition, to be on the doorstep of our very first WWE premium live event, WrestlePalooza, this Saturday. It will start. It'll be the first event in our 5-year deal where we will be the exclusive home for WWE's premium live events. We just couldn't be happier to really super serve WWE fans in a manner in which that they candidly have never been served before. And we as a company, we're storytellers at heart, and there's no shortage of compelling storylines that play out across the WWE universe. And we're really thrilled about where we are, what we have in store this week, and how we are going to walk hand in hand with the WWE as we move forward and usher in this new era for the WWE.
Great, Matt. Do you want to go into some of the WrestlePalooza details? We'll show the next slide.
Yeah, absolutely. So just riffing off that a bit. One of the things that I think was very attractive to the WWE is the reach and relevance that ESPN has and can deliver the WWE. And so this week alone, I imagine if you've watched some of our studio shows, you've seen WWE superstars show up on shows at scale. Braun Breaker was on Get Up this morning. AJ Lee and CM Punk will be on shows later today, and really it's hard not to say that without smiling. I'm looking at myself in the Zoom and I'm smiling talking about it, but it's like, as proud stewards of WWE, it's awesome to see how we are really bringing the WWE superstars to the ESPN audience. And as we lead up to WrestlePalooza, we are utilizing our megaphone to create as much buzz and awareness as possible, so folks realize that, hey, this is a massive event this Saturday night. And so a couple of things to shout out. On Friday, we have a WrestlePalooza special. And the cool part about this is it's hosted not only by Peter Rosenberg, who I love, but now we're starting to see us tap into a lot of the sports crossover, and we couldn't be happier to have Tyrese Halliburton. As a Knicks fan, I never thought I'd say excited to welcome Tyrese Halliburton anywhere, but all kidding aside, putting my NBA hat to the side, love that he's going to be part of our coverage here. On Friday, L. Duncan and SportsCenter are going to be on site. And just if we think about that for a moment, SportsCenter, the flagship program for ESPN for so long, is going to be front and center as part of our WrestlePalooza coverage leading into this Saturday. It's just awesome to think about. We also have an ESPN radio show on Friday night with Booker T and Brad Gilmore that we're really excited about. And then on Saturday, I think, Ben, are we going to flip to Saturday? Here we go. And then all of this just rolls into Saturday, where we have a 2-hour Road to WrestlePalooza show that ESPN is producing on site. It will lead into WWE's produced 2-hour pre-show. And then we get to WrestlePalooza at 7 o'clock Eastern. And then immediately after, we roll right into the post-show. So wall-to-wall coverage for WrestlePalooza on our platforms. I think it's really important to acknowledge a lot of the great work by so many here at our shop to quickly onboard a property. For those that aren't as close to it, just because you acquire the rights doesn't mean it magically, like, you flip a switch and things are brought to life on platform. It requires a ton of work. And I do want to give credit to my colleague, Glenn Jacobs, who has been doing an incredible job within the ESPN content division. So a lot of what you see here, a lot of what I just walked through, a lot of the superstar appearances, that is a result of Glenn and his team's incredible work and stewardship. So we have the card here as well, with John Cena and Brock Lesnar at the top, loaded with WWE superstars. I am not going to dare walk through this card with this audience. I think we all know what we're in for this Saturday night. But we are really thrilled with what the WWE has in store for us on Saturday. And then lastly, we walked through a couple of points before about how ESPN is supporting WWE, where superstars are going to show up. I thought this slide was just a beautiful representation of some really powerful samples throughout the week. So whether it's Triple H on the McAfee show, and then even starting the week with Jey Uso throwing out the first pitch on Sunday Night Baseball prior to the Yankees-Red Sox game on ESPN. That's incredible. And it's the type of thing that ESPN can deliver unlike anybody else. And Drew McIntyre on Good Guy and the Bad Guy, where you leverage some of the UFC crossover. And then from Seth Rollins to Paul Heyman to the Usos, Braun Breaker, I mentioned AJ and CM Punk, and it just goes on and on. So we are really proud of what we're doing here. It's our first event. We're really just getting started, and we're excited for this journey.
Well said. Thank you, Matt. Now we're going to kick to John Lasker, our Senior Vice President of ESPN Direct to Consumer. John, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you, Ben, and Matt. Thank you for that overview. What I think about when I think about the WWE and WrestlePalooza and all the PLEs coming forward, and all the sort of coverage that we just represented and Matt just walked through. That is a monumental effort that's happened in a very short period of time. But it's also we aren't starting from zero here. ESPN has been fans of the WWE for a very long time. We've been covering it for a very long time. Some of these athletes have been on our shows. We do have a section on ESPN.com. So we've recognized the power of WWE, and in particular, the crossover in fandom that exists from, the folks that are focused and fans of WWE that are also sports fans. What I'm most excited about from a direct-to-consumer perspective is the combination of which that we've presented to the marketplace here, starting this past August 21st, of the full complement of ESPN content combined with Disney Plus and Hulu at this incredible $30 price point. That sort of crosses over sort of all sport and entertainment segments, and we think the WWE fits perfectly into that, not just from a sports perspective, but from a general and entertainment and general audience perspective. So we're very, very excited about that. I'll just go back here just to make sure for folks that aren't familiar with what we're up to on the direct to consumer side. As I mentioned, on August 21st of this year, we did two primary things. We made ESPN's suite of networks and services available direct to consumer. So that's important because for the first time ever, you can get ESPN's premium networks and content and SportsCenter and Monday Night Football and college football and all these things directly from ESPN. No longer is the only way that you can get ESPN through a cable provider. So that was number one. Number two is we made some major enhancements to the ESPN app, which is really sort of a bedrock and foundation for us as we move forward to continue to try to serve sports fans, the best way that we possibly can, and introduced a suite of enhancements and features, as we call them, to effectively make the experience of watching sports and watching ESPN content on our platforms, whether that be the website, the connected television, the app, or all of them at the same time. We're really excited about that and excited about what's to come over the next 5 years in bringing WWE into the fold and being able to sort of expand how fans would normally consume WWE. So we're very excited about what we just did on August 21st. Super excited about WWE now being part of that immense complement of content, not just sports, but across the general entertainment with Hulu and Disney Plus. And so I mentioned, just to sort of be clear on sort of how people can get the events this weekend. It's two very simple ways. Number one is you can subscribe through ESPN or through Disney Plus or through Hulu's Touchpoints for the ESPN Unlimited plan, which is our entire suite of ESPN networks, including events like WrestlePalooza and the PLEs to come. Or you can authenticate your ESPN subscription on any of those platforms, and let us know that you're an existing ESPN subscriber and that you can get that you then now are eligible to get not only our linear network feeds, but then also WrestlePalooza. I'll note that second piece is available to a set of existing MVPD subscribers. We're in the process of rolling that accessibility out. We're not 100% there today, but over the next couple of months, the vast majority of folks that are subscribed to ESPN through an MVPD will have access to our ESPN Unlimited plan, and then therefore have access to all the PLEs to come.
Great. Thank you, John.
Sure.
Let's transition to our Q&A segment here. We'll get to as many questions as we can. I would just ask, if you do have a question, try to use the raised hand emoji if you can find it. If not, you can also message me and let me know you have a question. But we will start with Joe Reedy at the Associated Press. Joe, welcome.
Thanks, Ben. Just wondering, in terms of the direct-to-consumer product and everything, how much was WWE at the forefront when you guys were thinking of flagship and everything, as far as, adding it?
That's a great question, Joe. I mean, we're always looking for ways to serve sports fans, number one, and then number two, enhance the overall sort of value proposition of being a fan of, a subscriber of ESPN. And as Matt sort of referenced and I mentioned, at the top, we've always been fans of the WWE. We recognize the power and the fandom of that audience. So when the opportunity came to us to consider WWE coming into the fold, we sort of enthusiastically put pen to paper here and tried to figure it out, and really happy that we did.
And then, in terms of the authenticating and everything, will it be through all the cable subscribers, or is it still only a couple so far?
Yeah, so today it's Spectrum, Direct TV, Fubo TV, Hulu Live TV, and Verizon Fios. All subscribers of those services today, can validate their ESPN subscription through those services and get access. As I mentioned a little bit before, we're working through our MVPD agreements and arrangements, and hopefully here over the next couple of months we'll have pretty much ubiquitous accessibility for those fans. But that won't be the case for this week.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Joe. Let's go to Sean Ross Sapp with Fightful. Sean, welcome.
Hey guys, thanks for doing this. We've seen in the past WWE has counter-programmed their competition quite a bit. How did that weigh into the decision to run WrestlePalooza this weekend, or did it? And do you all foresee that happening more in the future, or do you all kind of want more of an uninterrupted wrestling market and audience to appeal to?
JT, I'll take a stab at that one. Yeah, I mean, for us, we work collaboratively with the WWE on the schedule. In this particular case, many of their events had already been scheduled. Normally in these types of arrangements, and so my team and I work on the NBA. We also handle UFC. There's really a lengthy process where you work with the partner to identify specific dates. You build out your schedule so you align in that regard. And so on some level, WWE scheduled throughout the rest of the years, throughout the rest of 2025, there had been a number of dates already on the calendar. And in this particular case, we were just laser focused on launching WWE. We knew we wanted to have a marquee WWE event in September to support the launch of ESPN's direct-to-consumer offering, as JT mentioned before. So it really had less to do with any particular wrestling competition. In fact, we take a holistic view. We know there's competition everywhere, and certainly in the fall on Saturdays. I don't need to explain to this group, there's no shortage of college football competition throughout the day, right? And we're in the teeth of the football season now. So we welcome competition. We really, we do take a hey, game on approach, and we're focused on what we can do in this particular case to super serve WWE and wrestling fans on our platforms.
Matt, if I can, I'll just add to this is everything that Matt said, I 1,000% agree with. In addition, that we've got an incredible sort of digital ecosystem here and a great sort of product that we just launched, on August 21st, which effectively allows us to do what we need to do sort of even with or without, competition. So this Saturday night, just on our own networks, there's a lot of really great college football games going on, and we get really excited about. And I mentioned the features and functionality that we talked about. One of those is multi-view, and so fans are going to be sitting there on Saturday night and watching WrestlePalooza and Miami, Florida, at the same time, right? And can sort of super in and super out as they see fit or as they wish. And our hope there is it's just going to drive more interest and engagement in the WWE and vice versa, that hopefully WWE fans that are coming to us get to sort of experience and become fans of a lot of the other sort of sports content that we'll be able to to present to them. So there's growth and opportunity and sort of excitement in terms of how we serve sports fans, irrespective of the sort of competitive set. The more sports fans that are on our platform on Saturday night watching various things is good for all of us.
Thank you, Sean. Let's go to Dominic D'Angelo with Brass Ring Media. Dominic, welcome.
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for having me, and thanks for doing the conference call. It should be a fun Saturday here. Matt, you mentioned too how you were a big wrestling fan growing up and everything like that, and something that a lot of the ardent fans have been really passionate about has been the WWE Vault and what they kind of have a history and a library of everything, all the programming from ECW, WCW, old WWE Raws. Is there an interest on the ESPN side of things of acquiring that kind of library and presenting it in a more fine-tuned fashion than say what Peacock has done in the past?
Yeah, I think for us, the rights that we have are for the premium live events, and those will be what we call bankable VOD. So as the events take place on our platforms, we'll be able to offer those events on demand. And so that library, our PLE library, will build over time. But in terms of the broader library, I would direct your question, to the WWE to handle. But we're excited to start populating, building, curating a robust digital offering for WWE fans on our platforms.
Cool. Thank you. As a quick follow-up too, obviously you have the NFL Live and you have baseball tonight. Would there be an interest in having a sort of program on ESPN that kind of features a WWE kind of talk show debate program in a way?
It's a great question. This is where I need to respectfully stay in my lane, and I imagine JT is going to smile. Yeah, there we go. Like look, I think the cool part about ESPN is there's no shortage of talented folks and different teams within the company that all work together in the interest of serving fans. And so, I look at this weekend as we're getting WrestlePalooza, and the road to WrestlePalooza and the shows that we are doing. We're excited for those, and innovation's at the heart of what we do. So I can't speak to anything specifically going forward, but if you look at what we've done in a really short period of time, I think it shows a lot of what's great about ESPN, where we're literally just building it as we go, all in the spirit of creating awesome content for fans, and to do it with our own twist. I do think the point, guys, of Sports Center being on site's a really big deal, particularly on a college football Saturday. I think it's easy when we start ripping through slides and stuff, and we start talking about all the coverage. We're talking Sports Center is going to be on site at WWE WrestlePalooza. Like that's pretty special.
And Dominic, I'll just add to Matt's point here is, this is a 5-year arrangement. Like, we haven't had event one yet. We will this week. It'll be amazing. The coverage that we've sort of stepped up with that Matt walked through, is pretty amazing. Like, we're not going dark, for the next event. Like, WWE is now sort of infused in the bloodstream here. And so, just like we cover other sports, like, you should expect that, we'll have, regular coverage of WWE sort of throughout, right? And that is the opportunity. And what evolves from there over 5 years, like who knows? But I'm excited to see what that becomes. Is that a studio show? Is that something else? We don't know. But there's not one launching tomorrow. But all the things that Matt described, I'm equally excited about.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Mike Johnson with PW Insider. Mike. Mike, you're on mute still.
All right. How's that? I did not realize I had to unmute.
We got
Hey,
you.
gentlemen, how are you? How are you today?
Excellent, Mike.
Great, Mike.
All right. So my question is, I was wondering if you could give us some guidance, if you can, on the fact that this deal was originally supposed to start in 2026 and WWE's PLEs are starting now. When did you realize you could pivot and start with WrestlePalooza, and what was it like navigating WWE and Peacock and WWE extricating the PLEs from the Peacock streaming service? What sort of guidance and timeline can you give us in terms of those discussions and negotiations?
Yeah, JT, I could grab this one. So our relationship is with the WWE. We had no interaction, engagement, dialogue with the Peacock folks at all. I think what was most important for us was the opportunity to have a launch event this fall. And so we were really, excited about that. And then when it was presented to us that there was an opportunity to begin our 5-year relationship early, obviously, we were excited about that as well.
All right, one quick follow-up, since the 5-year relationship is starting earlier, with the end point on the contract end earlier as well.
It's just a 5-year term, correct?
Okay, thank you for the clarification. Thank you, and thank you for the forum.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Mike. Let's go to John Alba with Sports Illustrated. John.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for taking the time today, and congratulations on all this early launch here. I want to ask about the amount of jurisdiction that ESPN has in requesting specific talent for any of these events. In the past, a lot of WWE's partners have had that. Brock Lesnar is a major part of this event, and while not specifically accused, he is a part of this ongoing Vince McMahon sexual misconduct lawsuit. So what degree of involvement does ESPN have when it comes to talent, and specifically in this case, Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, I'll grab that one. for us, our relationship with the WWE is such where they have creative control. And I think it's important to provide some context there where, you know, we are distributors of the events. It's not all that dissimilar to, you know, all the other rights holder relationships that we have, where we have relationships with the league. Obviously, you know, a glove, stick, and ball league is a little bit different than the combat sports world, as we could all appreciate. But in regards to our relationship with the WWE, they retain creative control, which, by the way, we're fine with, because they have built an incredible business for a long period of time. And you know, I for as much as I playfully talked about my WWE fandom at the top of the call, like I don't need to be opining on what a script should be to WWE. I think it's you know, we're excited about what they do, how they do it, and can't wait for Saturday.
So that includes in the case of specific talent requests, that all goes through WWE with no jurisdiction from ESPN?
But I just want to be clear, like when you're saying talent, you're talking
Like
about which
requesting
athletes,
for specific
superstars.
talent to be on
Yeah,
specific
no,
events,
that's
etc.
all. The WWE handles all of that.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thanks, John. Let's go to Dre Emerson with Sports Business Journal. Dre.
Hi guys, thank you for the time today. Just wanted to ask, beyond ESPN studio program appearances this week, like you guys mentioned, how is ESPN really helping to drive awareness among WWE fans that they not only need the new ESPN app, but the ESPN Unlimited plan in order to get this PLE?
Matt, I can start there if you'd like. Yeah, hopefully if you guys are watching or navigating social media, et cetera, like not only all the great things that Matt had showed in terms of the, you know, having certain talent and coverage on our studio shows and in platforms, which is all sort of buttressed by messaging that lets people know like where to get this and how to get this. We have a pretty aggressive and robust marketing campaign that reaches well beyond ESPN's platforms, doing exactly that. And as I mentioned, with the folks that you know can validate their ESPN subscription through your Charter, Verizon, et cetera, we're also working with those distributors, those MVPDs, to communicate to their subscribers, you know, that not only do they have access to this event and the overall sort of offering from ESPN, and then how to actually activate it.
All right, thanks for the time.
Thanks, Dre. Let's go to Drew Lerner, Awful Announcing. Drew.
Hey guys, thanks for holding this call. I kind of want to follow up on Dre's question here a bit. Obviously, there's going to be a significant number of people that don't subscribe to MVPDs that currently have access to ESPN Unlimited. Does ESPN plan to offer any sort of limited access for those types of pay TV subs to prevent them from essentially having to, you know, double pay to get this event?
Yeah, we don't have that option. So if like I mentioned before, the only two ways to get this is to subscribe to that to the ESPN Unlimited or ESPN Unlimited bundle with Disney Plus and Hulu. And like I mentioned, you know, this is I'll call it a short-term issue that we're planning to have solved in the next couple of months.
And specifically, what are you doing to communicate to those types of pay TV subscribers that they won't have access? You know, I'm thinking of maybe Comcast and YouTube TV as probably the two biggest MVPDs that won't have access. That's a lot of subscribers. Is there anything ESPN's doing to communicate that with those people?
So we're not singling out like the folks that we are singling out and talking directly to, you know, is through the distributors that, you know, we have a relationship with that offers ESPN Unlimited to their subscribers. We're not singling out like, you know, Comcast or another, you know, distributor to give them any specific messaging. We're looking at that as sort of the universe of folks that can't get ESPN Unlimited today, and they're communicating with them on how to subscribe to ESPN Unlimited.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, Drew, just piggybacking on JT's comments there. I think one, totally understand the point about someone having to subscribe. I think we're all consumers here. We all vote with our wallets in some way, shape, or form. And and the bundle that JT touched on, I think is a really important one to focus on here. So when we look at the $29.99 offer, it's not just for ESPN, which by the way, it's an incredible value prop in and of itself, given the sheer volume of live events and where we are in the sports calendar. I I will avoid getting on the pulpit to, just talk ESPN. But when you think about the bundle, which includes Disney Plus and Hulu and ESPN, that is an insane amount of value, and we're really proud of. So we want to compete with a robust value proposition. We know fans vote with their wallets, they vote with their time, they vote with their attention. And so for that reason, we're really focused on super serving, over delivering, and absolutely doing the best that we can to leverage our platforms to serve this audience. And we're just getting started.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Let's go to Bill Pritchard with WrestleZone.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
We got you.
Hey,
Yeah.
good morning. How are you? So in the past, Triple H, Paul Levesque has boasted that WWE is a turnkey operation that's part of the appeal for guys like you. But are there any production changes that WWE has come to you and asked to collaborate with in anticipation of WrestlePalooza or moving forward?
Bill, it's a great question. I think I mentioned Glenn Jacobs earlier. It's probably a question best for him. I think everything's moving very, very quickly as we push towards Saturday night. So I think JT's comments about how we would potentially think about enhancements down the road on the studio, going back to the studio show question, I think there are threads of that I think would apply here. I could share that the collaboration with the WWE is fantastic. They handle all of the production. So as you've described it, is accurate. And I think for those of you that are familiar with our UFC relationship over the years, it's very similar, where the UFC handles their event production, we take it, and then there are production, their studio programming, shoulder programming that we contribute to it on the back end.
If I may, as a quick follow-up, obviously WrestlePalooza is a new event for WWE on their calendar. Are you looking at adding any new PLEs to the event calendar, maybe in like a month like December, where there's only the Saturday night it's live broadcast on Peacock, but there's no PLE right now?
Yeah, I think anything along those lines will bear itself out in just more forward-looking scheduling conversations that we'll get into with the WWE over time. But I think, just to put a fine point on that answer, it's we knew what we were signing up for when we acquired the PLEs. The PLEs are incredibly valuable, and we understand the importance of those shows to help fuel our direct-to-consumer business. So we're excited about the schedule of events that the WWE puts forth for the PLEs. And if there are conversations to be had about evolving that, then we're certainly game to do that.
Thank you guys for the time.
Yep.
Great. Let's go to Denise Salcedo with Instinct Culture. Denise, welcome.
Good morning. So my question was in regards to metrics. What are you guys looking for in terms of numbers or goals that would deem ESPN saying that this partnership with WWE was a success? Thank you so much.
I'll take that, Matt. Sorry.
Yeah.
No worries.
I'll happily take it, but I think JT would kick me under the table, Denise, if I start grabbing that one.
Yeah, I mean, without saying any numbers, Denise, I mean, what we're trying to do is grow ESPN's overall audience, and for folks that might not be subscribed to ESPN in some other way, that having the WWE as part of the ESPN Unlimited plan will help us actually grow. On the flip side, like we're trying to create more value for those existing ESPN subscribers, and want as many of those folks to watch not just the WWE but other ESPN content within the ESPN app. So you activate their subscriptions. So those are the two sort of core metrics that we're looking at, but unfortunately I can't share what those target numbers would be.
Thank you.
Thanks, Denise. Let's go to Derek Futterman with Sports Media Watch. Hey, Derek.
Hey, Ben. Thank you for doing this, everyone. In terms of the decisions to simulcast select portions of PLEs on linear television, how are you guys going to go about that process and determining which events go there and kind of measuring success across both platforms?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, that is, yeah, I mentioned the collaboration between us and WWE. So I think the first step is we work with our content strategy team to figure out what opportunities exist. This may be a little bit inside the ropes a bit, but I think it's good context. So it starts with us figuring out, all right, where are we? As you can appreciate, given our portfolio of rights, we have a lot of commitments. And so then once we get a sense for what we could do, it's working with the WWE on what that looks like. And so we will get into that with them.
Are there any provisions that you guys have to broadcast a certain number, or is that at the discretion of WWE and ESPN?
There is a minimum threshold that we have to hit, and at the same time, we understand that, like, look, maybe doing it more would be beneficial, maybe not, and so we're still so early in all this that I think the most important aspect of the simulcast piece is how do we use our megaphone? So if you think about ESPN as a funnel, how do we get as many people into the funnel as possible? And ultimately that accrues benefit to, the diehard WWE fan, and then also expanding the audience and exposing more and more people to the WWE, which we want to do. Audience expansion and gang, audience expansion is a big priority for our company. We want to get younger. We want to get more diverse. We want more. We want better gender diversity on our platforms. All of these things we want to do, and so we believe WWE is a big part of that solution as we move forward here in our new direct-to-consumer world.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Derek. Let's go to Justin Barrasso with the Boston Herald and Undisputed. Justin.
Thanks. Thank you, Ben. I know there are a lot of wrestling fans at the network, but WWE is also not traditional ESPN content. Is there any color you can add to the reaction of the news that WWE was airing on ESPN?
Can I grab that, JT?
Go for it. Yeah.
Justin, I love that question. I've lived it for the last 7 years with the UFC, right? Where when we onboarded the UFC, there are a lot of traditional glove, stick, and ball people in Bristol, which is great. And it's how do you expose this property and build advocates and champions across the enterprise. I could share a story from yesterday where we had the Usos. Ben, you could probably share more context. Like we had the Usos stop by Bristol yesterday for a 45-minute photo op with ESPN employees. Usually we promote these things broadly. This happened so quickly that I think the extent of the promotion might have been a sign when folks showed up to work and they had to badge in and get through the security gate, where we let people know they'd be at the cafeteria from 1 to 1:45. I think there were north of 250 employees that showed up. The line had to be cut short. The Usos couldn't have been better. And it just goes to show that, like, everybody's fandom is a bit different. Everyone's got different interests. That's what makes this place so special. but it's hard not to have the WWE fandom rub off on someone who might not be a hardcore fan when you see that type of enthusiasm for a couple of superstars rolling into Bristol to spend an hour with us. So I think it's great. It'll be a lot of fun. And so we really look forward to, continue to build that advocacy and awareness amongst folks that might not be as close to it.
I'll just add 2 quick points. I mentioned this before, like the WWE is not new, in our ecosystem. We've been covering it for a very long time. Like that note, we have a section on ESPN.com dedicated to WWE coverage and have for, I think I can say for decades, or at least a decade. And then, the other point, Matt mentioned this before, I mentioned it earlier, is just, if you think about this through the lens of it's sport and entertainment, and this sort of universe of fans that we're looking to serve, and customers that we're looking to serve, across our ecosystem, including Disney Plus and Hulu. It just sort of, it breeds, incremental excitement beyond just the fan component that absolutely does exist, and it's sort of come in droves here in Bristol.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Justin. Thanks everybody for their time. We're nearing the end. We have a couple more questions. Let's go to Adam Barnard with the Sportster. Adam.
Morning, gentlemen. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I know recently WWE's announced that they're going to be doing the Royal Rumble inside of Saudi Arabia in 2026. Was there any consideration given to any potential interruption for currently scheduled programming before ESPN and WWE announced the deal? Is there any issue with any advertisers because of that as well? Thank you for the time.
No, Adam, could you just clarify that question? I want to make sure
Sure. Is there any impact on ESPN's end regarding any potential, any programming that's scheduled in advance, any major sporting events that were scheduled in advance of the Royal Rumble before bringing WWE into the fold on their programming?
No.
Okay. That's all I have. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, Adam. And then let's go to Brandon Thurston with WrestleNomics. Brandon.
Hi, guys. Thanks for your time today. When it comes to the MVPDs that don't currently have access to this event on Saturday, I was wondering if you can give us any details on what the timing is. I understand these deals will eventually be renewed and you're trying to work access to these events into new deals. Is there any detail you can give us on when people who are, say, subscribers to Comcast or subscribers to YouTube TV could expect that access to begin, or when a window for when that's going to be renewed?
Yeah, thanks for that, Brendan. And I think the best way to answer that is without specifically calling out any MVPD here. By the turn of this calendar year, we're expecting the vast majority of our existing ESPN subscriber base to get to have access to ESPN Unlimited. And we're working hard to make that not be vast majority, but all. And we're doing that as soon as we possibly can.
Right. And if I could squeeze in one follow-up with the increase of this partnership between WWE and ESPN, is there reassurance you can provide to us that reporters who report on WWE for ESPN will still have full independence in how they cover WWE or even WWE's competitors for that matter?
Yeah, I think the answer to that is an emphatic yes.
Unequivocal yes. I mean, that's separation of church and state. Ben, I know we have some PR folks on here that could probably underscore that, but yes.
Yeah, confirmed. Great. Thank you, Brandon. Wow, we went almost 50 minutes here. I just wanted to thank everybody for their time. Excellent conversation. We're super excited about WrestlePalooza on Saturday. If you need our press release that we issued this week that outlines our coverage details, please don't hesitate to reach